Buying a used car should feel smart, but for millions, it turns into a nightmare. Hidden fees, fake accident reports, and doctored mileage lurk around every corner. Most buyers don't even realize they've been scammed until it's too late. Today, we're revealing 17 red flags scammers use to steal thousands and showing you exactly how to spot them before it's your wallet on the line. Chapter 1. The Too Good to Be True. Price trap. The most common is the first one, the impracticably low price, which is probably the easiest to be lied in. You find a car that is advertised well below market value and your heart jumps. But this is the truth about it. The scammers have a sure way of making that cost unbeatable. They entice the customers, establishing urgency through formulas such as first come, first served, or today only prices are dropping. A lot of the time they are followed by a series of hidden costs. All of a sudden, the deal does not appear so cheap anymore. Others will present transportation costs, bogus guarantees, or in some cases even demand that you pay your shipping before the car has been built. When the offer is considered too good to be true, then you should abide by experienced buyers who know that it is too good to be true. Lowball prices are a psychological stimulus, and it causes people to act irrationally and overlook red flags which should have been clearly seen. Chapter 2. Fake Vehicle History Reports. The other tip that is typical in the second-hand car business is doctoring of the vehicle reports. Buyers are informed that the car is in a clean title, without accidents, and that it has routine servicing. However, they can be easily manipulated or falsified on the internet site, or even paid services can be used to clean up. The risk involved in this case is twofold. To begin with, buyers can involuntarily buy a vehicle that is damaged, but the damage has not been rectified, a factor that can be risky or even financially involved to fix. Second, it undermines confidence in formal reporting systems. There are even legal-looking documents which conceal disaster pasts, such as floods or undocumented accidents. What will help is to verify the information once again with several sources and, preferably, take the car to a reliable mechanic to get the car fully checked. Chapter 3. The Odometer Fraud. Tampering with an odometer is one of the oldest gimmicks in the used car business. Because scammers do not care about the mileage on a car, they will roll back the mileage in order to make the car seem newer than it actually is, or to make it seem less worn. This increases the demand of the car, and this enables the seller to overprice it. The indicators are not obvious yet visible. Pay attention to wear and tear inconsistency. A car labeled as having low mileage may have wears on the pedals, seats, or steering wheel. Digital odometers are not even safe. There are other sophisticated tampering tools that can touch the odometers and do not leave obvious traces. To prevent this pitfall, always ask to see service records and compare the mileage with stamp dates of work done. Chapter 4. Curbstoning, the fake dealer. Curbstoning takes place when illegal sellers impersonate their identity as dealers in order to sell several vehicles without any registration. These fraudsters tend to work in residential premises or in temporary sites, which makes them appear to be professional. The danger here is tremendous. In case the car proves to be a lemon or stolen, buyers cannot do a lot in law unless it is licensed properly. Curbstoners often rush buyers to make sales and will not give buyers any documentation until the sale is made. One can always avoid this trap by checking the license of the dealer, reading reviews, and visiting official dealership websites. Chapter 5. The As-Is Deception. Lots of sellers can advertise cars as they are, meaning that anything can be wrong. At the face value, this appears to be just, but the loopholes are used by scammers as a way of not taking responsibility for defects. There are cases when buyers get a feeling they have reached an agreement after inspection, after several days to find out serious mechanical or legal problems in the property. As is perilous in combination with imprecise wording or in sacrificed disclosures. Honest sellers will continue to give an honest description of vehicle condition, whereas fraudsters deliberately leave things out. Never part with cash without written information, inspections, and test drives. Chapter 6. Title Washing Tricks. Title washing, when sellers alter state records in order to cancel out the salvage or rebuilt mark on a car. A recently written off car, because of an accident or flooding, is found to be clean on the paperwork. Based on the above, the buyers might be relaxed when buying a car that is labeled as a clean one, yet later to learn of some structural damage that might go unnoticed nearly after some months. Impact can be disastrous economically and to safety. The best way to avoid this trap is to use the services of third-party title checks and being careful of cross-state title transfers. Chapter 7. Fake escrow services. Escrow services tend to protect the transactions of online car buyers. Fraudsters use inauthentic escrow websites, however. Customers send money with the idea that they are buying a safe car, but this money disappears. The signs are bad websites, poorly constructed emails, or a request to urgently do something. Never even turn off standard payment protections. Always use official sources to agree to escrow services. Small, careless errors here result in thousands of lost money. Chapter 8. Hidden liens and loans. Certain vehicles look sale-ready only to be bound by the unpaid loans or liens. These debts are transferred unknowingly to buyers who then become legally obliged to pay off the price of a car which they thought they bought outright. This is used by scammers who either provide forged lien release forms or indicate the loan is going to be paid off after purchase. The reality? Credit agencies and banks can also knock the door later, leaving the buyer in a legal and financial coma. Also, never complete any transaction without running a title check through the DMV of your state and making sure there are no liens. Chapter 9. Inspection Avoidance. Fraudsters may reject or postpone the check of the third party under the pretext of lack of time or emergency. They will demand not to have the visits of mechanics in order to seal the deal sooner. This is one of the red flags that is most obvious. Bona fide sellers have nothing to hide, hence they do not mind inspection. A refusal to permit decent checks is an open indication that something is wrong. Never trust a seller and always demand to see inside, be it some nasty smasher or a person handing out free breakfast. If the person is not willing to allow you to, then moving on is not worth the danger. Chapter 10. Pressure Tactics and Limited Time Offers. High-pressure sales are counted among the most widespread psychological traps. Scammers induce false urgency by telling a victim that someone is already on their way to get it, or that this particular price will be gone very soon. This strategy compels customers to rush into a purchase without carrying out adequate research. As a matter of fact, such vehicles end up taking weeks or months in the market. The trick is to maintain a cool head, do a fact check, and not to be caught by artificial urgency. The key characteristics of fraudulent sales are high-pressure tactics. Chapter 11. Hidden mechanical problems. Other sellers also withhold major mechanical problems, engine problems, trouble with the transmission, or problems with the brakes, on purpose. These cars are normally sold as running well, yet they break down in the course of days or weeks. Purchasing a used car with no checkup by a mechanic amounts to taking the dice. A reputable dealer would be permissive of inspection and would offer maintenance history. The mechanical issues that are not noticeable are among the most expensive traps since their buyers end up spending thousands of dollars after the car has been acquired due to repairs. Chapter 12. Fake warranty or service contracts. In other cases, scammers sell phony extended warranties or service contracts that will supposedly cover repairs that cannot and do not occur. Customers buy these contracts believing that they are not going to lose anything, but the same contracts prove ineffective on a breakdown. There is always a case of checking warranties on official company records and never purchasing insurance or service contracts outside any official route. When one falls into this pit, it might turn out to be a financial disaster that could easily be considered just simple repair. Chapter 13. The cash-only trap. Cash payments are a requirement of some sellers who do not want traceable payment systems such as bank controls or credit cards. This deprives buyers of a recourse in case something goes amiss. Payments with cash only are close to impossible in recovering the lost money or arguing a fraud. Whenever making payment, make sure to use secure methods of payment and never make any transaction that makes you feel intimidated to pay in cash. This trick helps the scammers to lose their trace. Chapter 14. Online listing scams. Online classifieds or marketplaces are used to entrap many buyers. In scams, the frauds place advertisements with stolen pictures, unrealistic prices, or cars that have never existed. This is aimed at getting consumers to send money or provide details via wire transfer. Check listings, use official channels of communication, and ask the right to visit the facility. Internet frauds are becoming more advanced, and the results may be harsh. Chapter 15. Title cloning. Other fraudsters steal VIN numbers and use them to produce a forged title. This gives the car the outlook of a legitimate one, even when it is a stolen one. Customers end up buying a car with a false identity unknown to them, and the car may get impounded by the police or otherwise get into trouble. This trap might be avoided by both looking up VINs, using official government databases, and even inspecting the physical VIN plate against the title. Title cloning is an erratic, fraudulent situation as it brings together legal and financial gaps. Buying a used car doesn't have to be scary, but millions of buyers fall victim to these traps every year. From fake prices and doctored reports to cloned titles and hidden damage, the scams are everywhere, and they're getting more sophisticated. The key is to stay informed, check everything, and trust your instincts. Remember, in the world of used cars, knowledge isn't just power, it's protection.